Hi, a very good morning to everyone. As stated in the lesson plan, so our topic for today, for week 9 on brand positioning, will be based on this video. So I'm recording this video on the topic of brand positioning so that it can help you to understand the content, the importance of it, and the questions, right? So which I will post after this video. Okay, so in this video, we're going to explore what brand positioning means and why is it critical part of the marketing strategy. What are the key requirements to create a strong and effective positioning? And finally, to provide you a different alternative positioning approaches that companies can use in order to shape the consumer perception. So at the end of the video, you will understand how brands create a meaningful and differentiated place in the consumer mind. And as you know that positioning is not on the physical placement of the product in the market, but most likely it is regarding how the brand is being positioned. So how marketers are playing their role to be able to have a right positioning strategy in the mind of the consumer. Okay, so now what brand positioning means. Okay, so in this positioning, basically it's not what the company say it is or how the product will be physically positioned in the market, but most likely it is what the consumer believe that the brand is actually represent. So a strong brand positioning strategy, basically it tries to answer several fundamental questions. Okay, the first one is who is the target market? Okay, or who is the target consumers of the company? Number two is what category does the brand compete in? Okay, so you understand that brand can be categorized in various, or product and brand can be categorized in various categories. So you have to be able to understand where or which particular categories that the brand is actually competing with the competitors. And the third one, what makes the brand different? Okay, based on the point of differences, what makes the brand better, as well as what makes the brand considered more meaningful. Okay, for instance, I take Volvo as an example. So Volvo is actually being positioned in the market as a very safe car. Okay, so this is what most people are being given in terms of information regarding a safe car of Volvo. And other examples is like Apple brand is being positioned as an innovative and premium design. Okay, and if you guys know Red Bull brand, so it's actually an energy drink, is being positioned itself in the market as an energy and extreme performance. Okay, so these some of the simple, consistent, and memorable association which able to guide how consumer feel, as well as understand on the position of the product, in their mind, in the consumer mind. Okay, so why does brand positioning matters? Okay, so it is very essential. Okay, because it drives every part of the marketing strategy of the company. So a well-defined positioning, it helps on several things, which is number one, to create a clear brand identity. Number two, to guide communication decision or the communication strategy that the company should implement. Number three is actually to justify the pricing strategy. Number four, to build a long-term customer loyalty. Okay, because through positioning, you can see that many consumers, once they are associated to the brand, they tend to be loyal and they don't change to other brands easily. Okay, and then the last one is actually to differentiate the brand from the competitors. That's why you learn about the point of differences and point of parity. So without clear positioning, so the brand can be very confusing because consumer might not be able to see where the brand is as compared to the other competitors. So when consumer cannot easily describe what makes a brand special, so they will not remember, they will not choose the brand, or they will not willing to pay any premium price for that particular brand. Okay, to craft a strong brand positioning, so marketers have to satisfy several core requirements. So basically, there are 4 core requirements. So this requirement will help to ensure the positioning of that particular brand is relevant, is believable, and able to sustain in a longer time. Okay, so the first requirement is regarding the relevance. Okay, so relevance can be functional, because relevance means that it relates to the performance of the product, it relates to reliability, it relates to convenience, or relevant can also be in a form of emotional. Okay, so when consumers associate themselves to that particular brand, create that sense of emotional, such as feeling confidence, self-expression, or even feeling belonging to that particular brand. Okay, so one key question that is important that marketers should address in this matter is, does this positioning matter to the customer? Okay, so does this relevant matter to the consumer? Okay, the second requirement is what I call as the differentiation. So this positioning, meaning that marketers should be able to clearly differentiate the brand from the competitors. So this kind of differentiation can come from several approach. Okay, number one, by having a unique feature relate to the brand, having a superior performance. Okay, the product performance, product quality, and then you should be able to have a specific target audience. It's not a generic market, so you have a specific target market or target consumers that willingly to pay for that price. Okay, and then you should have the form of differentiation, such as the brand has a symbolic benefit or emotional approach. The brand should have a unique brand personality. Okay, so if the brand fail to differentiate their product positioning against other competitors, so eventually it will become very general. Okay, very generic, no specialty. Okay, so what we want by having this positioning of differentiation, so that the product or the brand can become a commodity, right? That can be a trade in the market, and the brand can compete its positioning on differentiation based on price. Okay, the third one is on credibility. Okay, so this position of credibility, meaning that the brand must be able to deliver on its promises. Okay, so once you put all those, strength of the product, it represents what's the product can be able to deliver, the credibility of the brand to deliver what it has promised. So credibility ensures that positioning is believable and aligned with the brand actual capabilities. Okay, so if a brand being overpromised, okay, and under deliver, so they most likely will lose trust among the consumer very quickly. Okay, so effective positioning should only make claims the company can consistently fulfill. Otherwise, better not. Okay, and the final requirement on brand positioning is consistency. Okay, so a strong brand positioning must be consistently communicated, its messages across all touch point, okay, across all tools, including of advertising, packaging, digital content, customer service, as well as the product experience. So consistency reinforces the desired on mental association. Okay, so brand that frequently change their positioning can cause confusion and can weaken its identity in the market itself. Okay. So the steps in crafting a positioning strategy, if you refer back to the few slides before this, okay, on the key requirement of effective positioning. So you can see that in developing an effective brand positioning, so marketers must follow these steps. Yeah. So first is to identify the target market. Second, to be able to conduct competitive analysis in order to provide gaps in order for the brand to identify what are the gaps, as compared to the other competitors. The third one is actually to determine the brand point of differences, okay, to define the brand frame of references, and to write a very clear positioning statement. Okay, contohnya, for example, if you wanted to write a positioning statement of a particular brand, so I give you an example below there. So I said that for who, the target market. So brand X, okay, what is the category, what is the frame of reference that provide what point of differences, okay, and what are the reasons so that you can make the customer believe the statement. So having this positioning statement, it ensures clarity and internal strategic alignment. Okay. So in order to provide this good positioning strategy, okay, on top of what has been discussed earlier, the key requirements, you also have to have some alternative brand positioning approaches. So these alternative give you an idea how marketers can use other ways to create that positioning in the mind of the consumers. So brand can actually position itself in many different ways, which depending on the market environment, it depends on the intensity of the competition, and also depends on what matters to the audience or to the customer. So this positioning alternative able to provide marketers with strategy option to shape how the brand can be perceived. Okay, so one of the first one of the alternative brand positioning, we call it as a storytelling approach. So this storytelling positioning, it uses a brand origin story, the brand origin mission, or the emotional narrative to create a meaningful identity. All right, so it uses a storytelling positioning or approach. So customers today, basically, they want their brand to have a very authentic stories, real, not something that is, made up. So it has to be something authentic, real. It could be stories about the founders. It could also be stories regarding struggles, passion, or even the social purpose related to the brand. So here you can see some example of a storytelling approach, can be used in the brand positioning. Right, for instance, Airbnb uses story of belonging and human connection. So when the story is genuine, it creates emotion emotional loyal, and it can actually helps in deeper the brand meaning. Okay, next. Okay, the second alternative brand positioning approach that you can actually use in positioning your brand, the company brand, is using a cultural branding positioning. So this cultural branding focuses on aligning the brand with a social movement or related to cultural value or even identity trend. So this approach is powerful because it's able to connect the brand with shared culture meaning. So not just on the features, not just on the benefit. So example here, Apple championing creativity and individualism, okay, which a cultural rebellion against conformity. Nike supporting empowerment, equality, and athletic uh, excellence. Okay, so these are some of the example. And Dove challenging unrealistic beauty standard with the campaign Real Beauty. Okay, so cultural branding, it works best when a brand authentic no, susah dah sebut, authentically reflect cultural tension or aspiration and become a symbol of that movement. So you can see these two types of alternative brand positioning give a very clear, distinct positioning. One is on the storytelling base, another one is on cultural branding positioning. Okay, so besides the main two, you also can refer to other alternative brand positioning approaches. Okay, first is attribute positioning. Okay, these are the other approach. This is still under alternative brand positioning, but other than just storytelling and cultural positioning. So you have attribute positioning. So this approach focuses on a key product feature or a focus on a characteristic of the product. For example, Nike position its running shoes based on advanced cushioning technology. Okay, so this strategy works well in market where product performance matters to the user, to the athlete. Okay, second, you have benefit positioning. So this benefit positioning focuses on what the customer actually gain from the product. So instead of highlighting a feature like moisturizing ingredients on cosmetic product, so a skincare brand may consider to highlight the benefit like radiant, youthful skin. Some other words that can actually put a higher position of the brand in the mind of the consumer. Okay, so what the consumers is buying under benefit positioning is the benefit, not the technical details. Third one, you have user-based positioning. So this alternative positioning, it actually defines the brand around who uses that particular product. Like for example, give an example of GoPro. All right, GoPro associated with athletes and thrill seekers. Okay, so it actually can be associated to the user identity. The fourth one is actually competitor-based positioning. Right, so here the brand position itself against the competitor. For instance, a brand like Pepsi and Coke. Okay, so normally Pepsi targeting Coke, or Burger King claiming its chicken grill are more superior compared to McDonald's. Okay, so this often used to break a strong market leader dominance lah, most likely. Okay, and the last one, you have value-based positioning. So this strategy highlights the price-quality relationship in which that premium brand, such as Rolex, they normally try to position themselves on craftsmanship and element of exclusivity. Okay, and another brand like Daiso, it also use value-based positioning, but they emphasize on affordability and practicality. Okay. Okay, so as a summary, brand positioning is about owning a unique and meaningful place in the consumer mind. So effective positioning require relevant, okay, I repeat, it requires differentiation, it requires credibility, it requires consistency. So brand can choose from many positioning strategy, okay, either from the product attributes and the benefits to the storytelling and the cultural branding. So what is the secret? So the secret is choosing an approach that is very much in line with the target markets, and it reflects the brand true identity. Okay, so I hope that the sharing here give you a good understanding on the topic of brand positioning. So as I mentioned, that this topic will also be out in your final exam, especially in your part A. So please try to understand the concept, the points that I have highlighted in this video. All right, so thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.